Over the past few years, the program activities of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, in Trinidad and Tobago have increasingly reflected the agency's conviction that a more prominent role for the private sector in the pursuit of the National Development Agenda, as well as in support of the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, would not only be desirable but necessary. For UNDP, the local business community has become a true partner in development and has played a considerable role in national efforts of reducing poverty, fostering social cohesion, and safeguarding the environment. Such private sector activities have become better known as corporate social responsibility, CSR. The World Business Council for Social Development has defined the concept as the continuous commitment by business to behave ethically and contribute to sustainable development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their families, as well as of the local community and society at large. In its engagement with the private sector in Trinidad and Tobago, UNDP has become a trusted partner for businesses and is recognized as thought leader, knowledge broker and facilitator. UNDP's collaboration with the private sector in Trinidad and Tobago experienced one of its main highlights in 2007 with the publication of the CSR Mapping Report. In this report, UNDP set out to compile the first ever baseline study on CSR in Trinidad and Tobago, mapping out the prevalence of corporate buy-in for the idea of private sector involvement in the social and environmental development of the country. Following the CSR mapping project, UNDP sought to keep the momentum by organizing jointly with the ILO, the Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business, and other stakeholders the region's first Conference on CSR, Creating Value Through Public-Private Partnerships. This event focused specifically on the policy-making role that governments could play in the development and promotion CSR issues.
Trinidad and Tobago's vibrant and diversified economy, a very sophisticated private sector, and the country's growing leadership regionally and beyond, is in a very strategic place to convene conferences and events to encourage and promote socially responsible private sector-led development.
And local businesses have come on board to integrate sustainability principles into their corporate framework and to practically apply the idea of social outreach and environmental performance known as the triple bottom line in their daily activities.
So any company now who is operating without the realms of CSR, economic, society, and environment, not going to cut it because the demands are greater. Companies must focus on that triple bottom line in order to ensure sustainability.
The importance of CSR for the National Development Agenda was subsequently reinforced through the Forum on Corporate Volunteerism, organized by the United Nations Volunteers Program, UNV, in September 2010. Here, participants discussed employee volunteering as a proactive and skills-based approach of CSR that goes beyond a traditional form of philanthropy and charitable giving and may yield tangible business benefits in addition to the social payoffs.
I think there are very tangible benefits in terms of a company's HR management module, if you wish. But I think on the inside, in terms of recruitment, staff retention, motivation, team building and leadership development, there is a lot to be said about the kind of voluntary spirit and the voluntary preparedness that staff then brings to the table and brings to the company, ultimately benefiting from a commercial point of view the company.
Among the many socially engaged companies of Trinidad and Tobago's private sector, Guardian Holdings has developed a considerable track record in the area of employee volunteering.
3 years ago, we decided in Guardian to do it differently. And we went into wellness, we went into indoor activities, outdoor activities, social responsibility or community outreach is what we called it. And we asked employees in the group to volunteer to lead particular employee committees. The person who volunteered to lead the community committee went a step further, and she formalized the community group into what we called GIFT. And GIFT stands for Guardian Initiatives for Transformation.
In its development work in more than 140 countries worldwide, UNDP seeks to facilitate international cooperation between governments, societies and markets through locally developed projects and a globally tried and tested framework of good practices and operational principles. The UN Global Compact is one such framework. In order to mobilize support among stakeholders in member states and to spread the message of corporate ethics, more than 70 Global Compact local networks have been established over the past 10 years, and the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, TTMA, supported by UNDP, took the lead in the formation of a local network for the Twin Island state, an ambitious goal that was finally achieved in October 2010. While CSR is often seen as a business-only activity, public sector and government have arguably an important role to play.
Well, the government has asked to partner with the UNDP in making this thing happen, of bringing the corporate social responsibility, bringing the whole concept and the idea into the public. Trinidad and Tobago has a history of corporate social responsibility in a fairly informal way. And I think this way, with the government getting involved, it will strengthen that, hoping to make it part of the whole corporate process. And therefore, government has a major part to play in it.
Among the many ways in which the government can play a role as facilitator and enabler of corporate sustainability, the development of a national CSR policy for Trinidad and Tobago would clearly be a major contribution towards providing a necessary regulatory framework to the country's stakeholder community. In these and other efforts, UNDP will remain a committed partner, seeking to build on past achievements while developing future strategies to further transform Trinidad and Tobago into a socially responsible and environmentally sensitive place for business.